Hey, what's up, guys? Back doing a quick power file that I was curious about from Hollenbeck's road race this past weekend in Virgil, New York, and a quick train ride, the last big one before Bear Mountain State Championships this weekend, which I'm really looking forward to for the first time in a while. I definitely big shout out to Swiftwick Socks, to Bora Custom Teamwear, to Sportique, to IQ Dentistry, and of course Nailgene for keeping everything running smooth this season going into May. Um, was winless and won at Hollenbeck's, and as you can see, yay! Was really excited. It was actually the first race that I won 6 years ago as a Cat 5. And I will never forget the feeling of breaking away from, I forget how many people were with us, breaking away from the group, being by myself, the first time you get that, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna maybe win this bike race, and you dodge every little stone, and you don't want to flat, and you just don't want to get caught. Um, and it's always a cool little race. The course is awesome, and the weather is always usually pretty good. Knock on wood. Sorry, it's gonna be horrible next year. I had a really good showdown against my former teammate Botzik there when before we were teammates. It's one of the first times we got to meet each other and race against each other, and I punked him on the top of the hill. Sorry, buddy. Um, but yeah, great race. Highly recommend it, and it's cheap. So, anyways, the first time up the climb, so this was just cruising around. The race starts going downhill. You go up a pretty decent climb, comes down, you hit some headwind, and go up a somewhat deceiving climb, and then you go down, and then there's a backside pitch that is pretty steep. I think that's the one. Um, or actually, maybe yeah, that would be the one. I think. 'Cause then you go down, you go back up the highway, and you start over again. And so this is lap two, and this is lap three. It's 66 miles, so not super far. And then you finish on a little wall here. But things were getting spicy pretty early, and I threw in a couple quick attacks just to see what would happen. There are about 20 guys in our field, maybe. I didn't have any teammates, so I was curious how this would all go down. And once we hit the climb, though, people were throwing their weight around a little bit. I thought a little early, but just following some wheels up to the top. We averaged 450 watts for almost 5 minutes. So it was, yeah, it was good. I mean, a big group came over the top though. And then at this point, when there's a lot of coasting, we're about, so let's see if we start. We'll say the race starts at mile 5 according to this. Yeah. So we zoom back in with your shift, left click, and go in. Two guys got off the front, Craig Polston and James Thompson. In my head, it's red alert because both of those guys can time trial. And this is a course where if you get away, you might not be seen again. And I think that, hang on. Hey, I'm doing a power file thing. I'll call you right back. Bye. I don't know how to pause this thing, so we just deal with that. So these two guys go up the road. Everyone's looking around at each other. And it's like, I'm trying not to be frantic because I missed the break. That's the first little break. Shouldn't even have been a break, but everyone's looking around. Some people that know me are looking at me. I'm looking at people that have some teammates. Finally, there's a little chase gets going, but it's kind of like, one guy attacks and two people follow, and it becomes a little chase, and then they sit up, and then maybe another guy kind of goes, doesn't really. Um, so, sorry. Anyways, I waited till we're coming down, we're going pretty fast, and you make a right-hand turn, and this portion here is really deceiving. It kind of keeps going, and it doesn't seem steep at all. It just looks flat. It's about 7% at sections, I think right around here. And this year, the headwind is usually down here, but the headwind was on this section after you take a right. So I'm like, I'm gonna slam it right here. There's a downhill, but then you start climbing. I'm like, I'm just gonna rip it and see if we can break this up a little bit and catch up to the two guys up the road, because I didn't think they would really put in all their energy into making this a break. I mean, they both know each other, but it's a long race, and there were some good guys in the field. So slammed it hard, and eventually, from in about a mile and a half or maybe 2 miles, caught them here, and then we just started drilling it. Went downhill, um, and really, this is the first hill. This is a backside climb. We hit this portion good, and we'd all agreed, let's get. Oops. Shift. This is so ugly. Delete that. We had decided that if we could get up and over this, not sure what that spike was, and then around the course and get over the big hill again, we'd have a good chance of staying away. And I felt confident riding with these two guys. They're strong riders. So we did about a decent threshold pace up that. And then we hit it we worked pretty well. I mean, there was a lot of times where you could relax. We got around the course. We went up the big hill. Not too hard. And my game plan was at this point, I was thinking that James was looking a little fresh. I rode the day before 96 miles, almost 5 hours. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to wait till the end to really test him. So we got around the course, and the first, we hit the corner. Not so good at this today. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way, while I do this. Yeah, as we're coming down the hill, right there, I decided to smash it and get up over the climb. So it was doing about right to the top. Yeah, 450 watts for 5 minutes. And then was really hitting any uphill hard, as you can see by the power. Coasting as much as possible. I just wanted to get away and get out of sight. And I got out of sight in a good amount of time. Doing threshold over every bigger bump. And then this was the backside, which I think at this point I was pretty well ahead of them. And didn't push it too bad. But I was feeling tired for sure. And then didn't see them at the end, was alone, and climbed to the top. So all in all, it was a great race for me to get a first win. And you can always look at your power. Threshold was for that day probably around 390, which is okay because I rode a lot the day before, so I'm all right with that. And spinning pretty well. Excuse me. I wonder if the FTP is what I put in or if what they put in. Struggling here. I'll have to ask Drew. I'm not sure why 400 doesn't show up here, but Anywho, it's a good ride. Today was hard, which was fun. Went down and hit up Lap 2. Hit up whatever this road is. See if the map function works on this pretty well. Yeah. Go south, take Bloomfield all the way down. And you get to go up whatever route this is. 37. Great climb. It's getting smashy. We usually would go down this road here, Ross. Cross town. Oh, wait. I should go down here. Oh, it doesn't keep going. This map kind of sucks. It's being all weird. Old Bald Hill Road south is pretty good. I have no idea what just happened. So anywho, if you go down there, that's a good ride, and you. Sorry. Lap 2, I did 404 watts for 2044. I thought it was 2230. I lied. Should bring the threshold up, and I probably will, maybe to 407 or so. And feeling good. Bear Mountain, here we come. I hate that descent. I'm kind of scared, but I'll make it happen. And that's about it. So that's what it took to get in the break at Hollenbeck's and to be able to stay away. And it really wasn't too. It was just using your power at the right time. I mean, there was a young kid from Killington Mountain School that was almost there with us. Just didn't have enough. But there were definitely other strong guys that could have been there. It's just, making sure you're in the right place at the right time. All right. Try and figure out how to stop this thing. See ya.